He just sent a serious message as Derrick White absolutely explodes in a big game where he was needed most after going into a little bit of a shooting slump in this past month. He really stepped up and delivered for the Celtics in the third quarter to get a big time win versus the Dallas Mavericks. And this is going to have massive implications for how the Celtics are going to want to continue to display their perfections going for a championship. Having a player like Derrick White be able to do this is key and necessary for the Celtics' success, as we saw that through the playoffs and into the finals. We're going to be diving into all of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I am Bruce Velez, and you guys have been absolutely fantastic showing your love and support. Unfortunately, yesterday I was busy, so sorry for no post-game breakdown for that Celtics versus Mavericks game, but we'll be back with more stuff coming towards you and that weekly live stream once again happening on Wednesday. So if you guys want to make sure you stay up to date on everything revolving around this team, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button like everybody else and stay into that group of 28% of people that are. But without further ado, let's dive into the video at hand. Make sure to grab that snack. And like I said in the introduction, this is a big to see as we get to see a player in Derrick White absolutely step up for a team when it was really noted. And like I mentioned, obviously this happened yesterday with the Boston Celtics as they took on the Dallas Mavericks, and they got a big time win versus a Mavericks team in rivalry week, a game versus the team that they played in the finals. And obviously, they were without Luka Doncic, they were without Derek Lively, they were without a bunch of other players that were injured as well. But seeing a player like Derek White really step up and deliver for this team was clutch. We saw Derek White. We want to look at the whole stats here. He shot 7 for 16 from the field, 4 for 10 from 3, but 5 for 6 from the free throw line, with 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 23 points as a +7. But Derek White realistically came to life in that third quarter, as we see from Justin Turpin. 16 third quarter points were of Derek White's 23 came in that third quarter, where he was 6 of 8 for shooting in that quarter. That's the most he scored in any quarter this season, where Justin was claiming that he is back. And I would 100% agree that a player in Derek White obviously has had a little bit of a shooting slump, but has been able to bolster that back. And if we want to look over this last stretch, over this last month, like I mentioned in January, it has been a little bit of a rocky one for Derek. We saw him start off pretty hot versus those games in Minnesota and Houston, dropping 26 and 23 respectively. But then when we had that OKC disaster, we saw Derek White go on a little bit of a cold streak. 11, 3, 6, 6, 12, 5 games where he failed to break 15 points, in which he shot very, very poor in those 5 games as well. 30%, 12%, 16%, 22%, and 41%. Some uncharacteristic things from Derek White, specifically from three-point range as well, where the highest percentage he shot was a 28% from three-point range on games where he had multiple games with 5, 6, and 7 attempts, even a Thunder game where he had 11 attempts, which is very, very concerning. We saw Derek White bounce back a little bit versus that Hawks game, which I was at. But like I said, a little bit of inconsistency. 21, 8, 23. Now he has 23. But that was a big game and was much, much needed. Like I said, Derek White getting back into those percentages, having his fourth, highest three-point shooting night in the month of January, shooting 40% in this Dallas Mavericks game. And not only do I agree that Derek White having these shooting percentages, having these big games as a creator is necessary for the Celtics, because when guys like Jayson Tatum or Jaylen Brown aren't having those perfect games, having guys like Derrick White, Porziņģis, Horford, Jrue Holiday step up and really deliver is key. But his teammates as well spoke on it as well. We also saw Joe Mazzulla and his coach speak out and his teammates. So when we look at Bobby Kravitsky here, we see Joe Mazzulla was asked by Noah Dalzell about Derek White, who had 16 of his 23 points in the third quarter. He says the way we get him looks is just empowers him. I think he's the best way to get him looks is to just empower him and make sure he's aggressive. So I love watching him do that. And it's great to watch his teammates empower him too, because they know that we need him. And so there's nothing more than just continuing to make sure he finds ways to be aggressive. And Derek White finds that on the offensive side, shooting threes, going for high point floaters, making sure he makes the right pass as well. But not only just that, but defensively, he's aggressive as well. He's one of the best rear block jump shotters in the NBA. That's where he gets the majority of his blocks. Just when the guy going up right at that last moment to get the end of the basketball coming from the back. And he also, like I said, can get those assists and play fantastic defense as a defender as well. But not only did Joe Mazzulla speak out on him, but Kristaps Porziņģis Digest said when the Celtics empower Derrick White, they're a different beast when he gets going. And we also see from Derrick White where he said he made the one in the corner, which got him really going. And he thinks the whole team were really behind him and supporting him tonight, specifically in that third quarter when he really went off. And that's what you love to see. Then Phil Prissy obviously said it just takes one shot to get hot. I just think that kind of mindset finally made some sense, and that made me kind of happy. And I love to see that for a guy in Derrick White. Like I said, we have broken down on this channel that Derrick White was in a little bit of a shooting slump. You know what I mean? And it's been a little bit cold for him over this last couple of days. But like I said in those videos, he's eventually going to get out of that shooting slump. He's going to be the Derrick White that we all know and love once again. And I truly feel that we're going to see that come through the next couple of games. Obviously, with the All-Star break coming up, the Celtics obviously are going to be having a little bit of a break, but I think that break might be necessarily needed. Get guys like Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown a little bit of rest, even though they are going to most likely be in the All-Star game. Get them a little bit of rest, but even got more guys like Jrue Holiday, Kristaps Porziņģis, Derrick White, this extra needed rest to really rest up their bodies and get together and get going for this second half of the season, because we saw in the first half them really step up and shoot lights out in the beginning. Then we saw them quiet down a little bit towards the end of the year in December going into January. But now I feel like this Celtics team is really going to start to kick back things up, start to really empower themselves, and feel like they got everything clicking together. Once Derrick White, that kind of clutch player, that kind of, player that really fits this team, gets everyone going and kind of can start gelling and really showcase to his teammates that he is hot and he's ready to go. The other guys are ready to step up as well. Guys like Jrue Holiday, guys like Kristaps Porziņģis, and we've really seen that. KP has been absolutely dominant. He was dominant in this game versus the Mavericks as well. Basically everybody in the starting five was dominant versus this Mavericks team, which was really nice to see for the Celtics to get right back on that right step after losing a disappointing game versus the Los Angeles Lakers after playing 5 games in 7 days after going to OT the night before the Los Angeles Clippers. They were able to bounce back and get a big time needed win versus this Dallas Mavericks team. And like I said, now gear up to kind of go on and take on the Houston Rockets on Monday, which will be nice to see. And hopefully we get to see some more great performances from key guys like Derrick White, Kristaps Porziņģis, Jrue Holiday, and all these other players on the edges as well. The Celtics did pretty solid on their Western Conference road trip. They went 2-2, beating the Mavericks and Clippers and Warriors. 3-1, excuse me. They only lost one game. They lost to the Lakers, but they beat all of the other 3, and that's what I predicted. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section, how you guys feel about Derrick White and his recent performance and how he's really stepping up and delivering for this team, not only defensively, but offensively as well, specifically versus Dallas in this Dallas Mavericks game, which is key for the Boston Celtics if they want to continue to grow, they want to continue to get better, and if they want to see their ultimate push in the playoffs and the championship. But like I said, you guys have been absolutely fantastic. Let me know what you guys ultimately think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and go Boston Celtics. Peace out, everyone.